Hi, my name is Hannah. Welcome to my channel. I got the most lovely shout out from Olive at a Book Olive and seem to have tripled my subscriber count overnight. So welcome. I am going to introduce myself a little. If you have been here for the long haul with me, you can just skip to the next timestamp. I'm just gonna do a little introductory minute. So my name is Hannah. I live in Barcelona. I have 2 kids, an amazing husband, and I just love to read. I have no chill. I kind of do things all or nothing. I love knitting, baking. Currently, my thing is playing the piano. We got like a keyboard for Christmas, and I have been playing for more than an hour every day because I just can't stop. And so I love picking up new things and learning about new things, which I think is why I enjoy reading. I read a lot of nonfiction, contemporary fiction, literary fiction. Those are kind of where I stay, but I am really happy to try anything across any genre. I really enjoy variety. I post new videos probably once a week, more or less. I don't have a posting schedule or anything. I just, when I've read enough books that I feel like I have enough to talk about, I film a video and talk about it. And occasionally I'll throw in something else like a tag video, but I really do kind of just stick with book wrap-ups. That is the majority of what you will find on my channel, is just what have I read? Did I like it? Did I not like it? So if you're interested in that, thanks for being here. Welcome. And tell me what you liked about the books that I've read, what you hated about them. Tell me where I was wrong and how I should check my opinions. I mean, I really love BookTube for the book club nature. I love the back and forth. I love being able to hear people's opinions on different books and figure out where I agree and disagree, and it's a lot of fun. So thank you for subscribing, and I will jump into just a few of the books that I have read in the past week or so. So this first book I'm going to talk about is a recommendation from Caitlin over at Bandy's Books. I will make sure to link her channel down below and make sure to check her out. I read the book Behold the Dreamers by Mbalo Mbue. This book is following a couple from Cameroon who have immigrated to the United States and are trying to find a way to stay legally and work and make the American dream work for them. We follow as their lives are intertwined with the husband. He works as a driver for a wealthy man on Wall Street, and we kind of follow as these two families' lives get intertwined and where the search for the American dream leads this couple. So I enjoyed this book. I thought that it was really well written, very engaging. I wanted the American dream to work for them. I wanted them to make it. I wanted things to work out. So I felt very invested. The author did a good job of making me very invested in the book. However, at the end, I felt like there were some loose ends that weren't tied up. And so I left feeling a little bit on the frustrated side, just that plot points had been brought up and didn't have a real resolution. And I'm not sure if this was intentional or not. So at first, I was just frustrated. Like, why didn't this author address these issues that were brought up? And then I thought, well, maybe it's actually supposed to be a commentary on the things unsaid, the things that couldn't actually be done, and the disappointment of things not working out in the American dream. Like, I thought that was maybe a commentary, maybe it was supposed to be that way. And so where normally in a book, I feel like you're looking for a lot of character development, I feel like you ended up almost getting the opposite of character development, like character destruction over time. And so I almost think it was hard. It was like watching a tragedy and seeing all that hope and seeing certain events that just, crush that. I thought that it was really difficult at parts, but but really well written and from a very interesting perspective and a very interesting world's perspective. So I do recommend this one, but I won't say that I loved it, but I thought that it was worth the read and a really good one. So on the recommendation of basically everybody, I have heard this book recommended so many times, I finally picked up Young Mungo by Douglas Stewart. And this book had a setting that I was very interested in because it was talking about, I think it took place in the 90s in Ireland. I've read a few books that have taken place in Ireland and have talked about the tensions and problems between Catholics and Protestants. But I feel like the majority of books that I have read have really been from the Catholic perspective. And this was interesting because it was in a setting where it was from the Protestant perspective. So I was super interested to pick this up for the setting, for maybe a different point of view to some of the other things that I have read. And this is following our main character, Mungo. And we get two timelines. We get one where he is going off on a camping trip with some shady characters, and then the other one where he is growing up trying to deal with a mother who's very absent, a sister who's trying to raise him, a violent older brother, and Mungo is just trying to find his place and how he fits in with the family. And during this time, he strikes up a romance with a local boy who is actually a Catholic. And so there are multiple aspects where that is just not acceptable in his family and in his community. And so I thought that the romance was actually very sweet in this. There were, the author did an amazing job at showing a very complex picture of Mungo. So I really, felt for the main character. I felt like I could really feel his struggle and search for belonging, and which made it all that much harder when some horrible events happen later in the book. And so was this book like excellent? Yes. I found it very devastating. There were some things that I thought were maybe too triggering, too hard to read. And so is this book an excellent book? Yes. Is it something that I think everyone should read? Not really. I know lots of people have loved the other book by this author, Shuggie Bain, and if it's in a similar vein, I think I'm not going to pick that one up either, even though this author was an excellent author. Very, very good. Like, this was a very well done book, but I think I have read books with traumatizing things before, but I think the reason that I found this one just so traumatizing was because the author was so good at making me really feel for the main character. And so to put him through some of the things that happened later, it just felt soul crushing. And I don't think I could, in good conscience be like, everybody go read this book. But it was really well done, interesting setting, great characterization, talked about a lot of interesting issues, and like a really great novel. So I'm a little torn on this just because for me personally, it was too much and really difficult. For the last book that I'm going to talk about, I read the book Glory by Noviolet Bulawayo. And this was surprisingly really good. So basically it was African dictatorships, but Animal Farm. So it is following a fictional country that has a dictator and there is a coup, and then you see what happens after and the violence and the uprising, and you're following these kind of sweeping political events, but all of the characters are animals. So the army are a pack of dogs, the great leader is a horse, and so at first I was a little unsure as to if it was necessary, why are they all animals? But as I started talking to my husband about this book, and I started saying, I don't understand why this book had animals. Why couldn't they just be people? And as I started trying to explain which characters were what animals, he started pointing out, well, maybe it's because of this. And soon I realized there was a lot of symbolism, and it was actually really well done that way. The more time I put after the book, the more I really appreciated the animals being used in the book. I thought that that was really well done. I thought it had a lot of interesting things on global politics, and it had some interesting ideas on the roles that women have played in some of these governments where they're pulling the strings from behind the scenes. And at moments, it was just really, really powerfully written. Like, have you ever read a book where something is said and you can feel like chills going up and down your spine? I feel like this had those moments where you're like, this felt profound. If you really don't like Animal Farm, I don't think you would like this, because it is animals in the place of people talking about global politics. But I thought it was really well done. Yeah, I highly recommend this one. It was really good. So I read the book Glory on the recommendation of Scott over at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. So I will make sure to link his channel down below. So just this last week, I did start an Instagram, so feel free to come follow me over there at Savage Reads Books. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I got it. If you wanna show up, send me a message, say hi. I think I'll probably just post when I post in a YouTube video, but I'm also thinking about posting some content of like books that I see in my day-to-day life. So I get most of my books from a library card I have from the US. I get ebooks and audiobooks, but I do go to the library at least once a week with my daughters, and there are so many fun picture books and different books in Catalan and in Spanish, and I might share some of those that I see at the library on that Instagram. So feel free to check it out, but no pressure. I don't think I'm going to be doing too much with it. I just thought it'd be nice to have another place to put some stuff. So that is all I have for a book wrap up today. I will be back soon with another book wrap up, and if you have any thoughts on these books, please leave them down in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you think of them, and I will see you all on the next one.